I have a new 4-year-old horse, and my saddles seem to pop up on him. He's not a big guy. He's maybe 14.1 hands. I've tried lots of different blankets, and some are a little better than others. After seeing a clinic this year, I noticed that Clinton's saddle and pad did this also on one of his horses he was demonstrating with. Before I consider putting out a bunch of money for his saddle and pad, is this a common problem? Should I be worried? I've ridden my whole life, and have never had this issue with my other horses.
So yeah, some horses just kind of have a funky back on them. That's probably the best way to say it. That you'll have a saddle and saddle pad that fits 20 horses without a problem. But then that same saddle and saddle pad on the 21st horse, the saddle will either have a tendency to slide forward, or the back of the saddle have a tendency to slide up, pop up. Or on some horses, you'll have a tendency that the saddle always slides back on their back. And unless you have a breast collar to keep the saddle forward, it kind of slides back on their withers. It's just kind of the way it is, meaning that you mentioned that, yes, some saddle pads make it better than others. That's correct. So try to find a saddle and a saddle pad that moves around the least. Typically, you'll find when you have a brand new saddle, because it's not broken, the leather's not broken, and it's kind of new, you'll have a tendency the back of it will typically pop up a little bit. It'll be a little higher than the front. And then once it gets broken, the leather gets broken, it'll kind of balance its way back out. But sometimes it's just the way it is. Like I've got one 3-year-old filly that just the way she stops, if I don't have that back cinch really tight on her, when I say really tight, pretty firm, every time she stops, that back of the saddle will kick me in the ass and put me forward. Well, that's the first horse I've had done that with in probably 10 years. So I went and bought a really big back cinch, like a roper's back cinch, really wide. And I could do that up firmer and keep the back of the saddle down on her belly. So now when she stops, it didn't raise up the back of the saddle. Now, as her body changes and she grows and she gets a little bit higher in the front end, will that go away? Maybe, maybe not. But it's been, I don't remember the last time I had a problem with this. That's how long ago it was, at least 10 years. I might go another 10 years before I have the same problem. So my only advice to you is try to find a combination of saddle and saddle pad that works. You may not ever get one that works perfectly, because just like humans, ladies bitch about this all the time. Ladies will say, I can never find a pair of jeans that fit me. And I always chuckle at this because I think to myself, well, fuck, there's only 10 million pairs of jeans out there. You sure and tell me there's not one pair that fits you? And the honest to God truth is a lot of women will say no. My body shape is just a little bit different and a little bit, weird that the other jeans don't fit me the way I want them to fit. So sometimes horses just don't fit with a saddle and saddle pad as good as we want them to. We're just trying to make it as good as we can.